Hello, here we are again. We're going to do another live intro for a book. Today, Stephanie had the idea for her book, Turn Bad Advice into Good Advice. Help people learn how to be able to take the advice that we all get, sometimes some of it not so good, and learn how to be able to really turn it into good advice. And so with that, we're going to write an intro right here while we're live for Stephanie's book. Stephanie, I hope you enjoy this. We've all gotten advice. In fact, everyone we run into has opinions, don't they? Benjamin Franklin once said, "A wise man never gives advice, and a fool never takes it." Advice isn't the problem. The problem is that sometimes the advice we get isn't what we need. It doesn't truly serve us, or we don't understand it. And so we don't go with it where we could. Sometimes the advice we get is just flat out bad. Ugh, right? Do you ever look back at times in your life and think, if only I hadn't listened to that person? There is a verse in the Bible that says there's wisdom in many counselors. To be able to come together with a lot of wise people and get multiple different types of advice can be one of the best ways for us to really truly be able to then take all of the options we're given and add to that our own self-reliance, our gut, if you will, that helps us be able to know where we should go. Is this leading me forward, or is it taking me away from that thing I know I'm supposed to be doing in life? So what do we do when we get bad advice? Do we just simply follow everybody's advice we get? Or conversely, do we just throw away any advice that we get that doesn't resonate with us? Is the advice bad, or do we not understand it? Is the advice bad, or are we just resistant to the advice? Sometimes, though, we do just simply get bad advice. And then what we need to know how to do is how to be wise enough to take the advice that comes to us. It's always coming from every angle, isn't it? Take that advice. Take it into heart. Weigh it. Measure it. How does it really measure up to the goals that we have in life? When we're clear about who we are, what we can begin to find is that even in the bad advice, there's some grain of truth. There's an old saying that says, everybody's good for something, even if it's as an example of what not to do. Sometimes the bad advice opens up in our mind opportunities and options that we would have never thought of otherwise. Sometimes when we take the advice and we really truly take the time to think it through, it gives us the opportunity to get to the advice that we really need. What we want to learn and discover here today together is how to evaluate the advice that we're getting. Not necessarily critiquing it as good or bad, but knowing how to take the advice in and then, good or bad, use that advice to make it into something that serves us, that advances us, that helps us get to the next level. You see, there's a real power in advice when it helps us for our good. Today, what we want to talk about is how to turn bad advice into good advice. I invite you to join me on this journey. Stephanie, I hope you really liked that. It's always fun doing these intros for people. Of course, there's more we can do. When we go deeper, we talk in more depth about it. We talk more about the reader and those kind of things. But I love just giving you a possibility, a little bit of a vision of what could be the introduction to your book or your next book. I love doing these for people. If you'd like to be the next one, Send me a direct message. Tell me what you're thinking about. Let's discuss it a little bit. And let's do your intro for your existing, upcoming, or even just the concept that you hadn't even until this very moment thought about doing in a book. I look forward to working with you. Until we're together again next time, I hope you have a great week.